Okay, so this video is going out to N Scale Division 2336. I think you're actually a subscriber of mine. So thank you for your interaction. Um, I promised I'd do a video on the ice cream plant and the pizza factory. So let's talk. This is the ice cream plant. This is my sign in the front. It's Calico's Creamery, the Central City plant. And they manufacture Calico's Creamery. That is their flagship brand. Calico Pro, that is their professional brand, the kind that they would sell to food service distributors or ice cream shops, coffee shops, that kind of thing. Mr. Cookie Face is the the novelties, your ice cream sandwiches, your fudge pops, that kind of thing. And then Calico's Gelato is the gelato, and then their logo is a calico cat licking an ice cream cone. If we go around to this side, we have Calico's Creamery Central City plant, and then we have another sign there. The way the plant works is as follows. The freight is actually unloaded on the receiving side inside the building. They get hopper cars, tank cars, and well, I haven't had a tank car yet, but they could. Way back when, if you were modeling the steam era, milk actually did move in like these specialized milk tanker cars. That's not really the case anymore. I don't think milk or cream, but especially milk, moves by rail too much anymore in the United States. That was more of the steam era, which, my God, that would be considered archaic by today's standards to be shipping milk by rail. Or I think it's not. I don't think that's much of a thing here in the United States. I don't think so, but it was back in the steam engine era. Even as recently as 1954, they were still moving milk, big shipments of milk by tank car. I don't think that's really much the case anymore. But for rolling stock, you would have hopper cars, refrigerator cars, box cars, and you could have tank cars, corn syrup, that kind of thing. Then I added a little track over here with this dock, and that's if we want to spot a box car, we can spot one there. Ingredients that you would need to make ice cream: salt, sugar, chocolate, fruit, milk that you would, whole milk out of the cow that you would have to then, it would have to get spun and the cream would be taken off of it. And then they mix that with the ingredients and use that to make ice cream. Food additives, you would need box cars or intermodal truck trailers if you wanted to. That would have the packaging, the containers that the ice cream would go in, that kind of thing. Those could come from a packaging plant, and you could load those up into a box car and use those at the ice cream factory. If you wanted, and I might do this, I haven't done it yet, but I might. Walthers sells a fertilizer plant or distribution kit. It doesn't look super hard to put together, and it has about 3 tanks on it, 3 big vertical storage tanks, a little bit different than these. But that would be, you could buy that kit, and you could use like the building that is meant to take trucks in, and you could use that as a building that's part of the ice cream plant for tanker trucks to unload milk from the farms in. And also you could use the tanks as storage tanks. Like Dairyman's here in Cleveland has a couple big tanks on the outside of their building. So does Maselli Dairy here in Cleveland. They have a lot of tanks. Most of their milk at Dairyman's, actually all of it, at Dairyman's and at Maselli's comes in tanker truck from the farms. What happens is the cows get milked, and the milk, that milk is unpasteurized, I think. That milk then gets taken to either the ice cream, the dairy, whatever they're making. Michelli's is a cheese manufacturer. Dairyman's manufactures milk. I'm sure they make some kind of ice cream product there, but Pierre's is actually the ice cream plant here in Cleveland. Pierre's ice cream. They would get milk in and handle that. But as far as receiving cars goes, box cars, hopper cars, tank cars, so you have a wide variety of cars. That's why you want to model in my opinion, you want to model the food industry because you get a wide variety of cars. As Lance Meinheim said, one of his favorite industries to switch out on the downtown Miami spur was the Torillo Bakery, because they get tank cars, box cars, all kinds of different cars. And then right here is the receiving track. Refrigerator cars, obviously. Ice cream's got to be kept at 0 degrees. And depending what railroad you're doing, I model a lot of Conrail. Conrail had their own fleet of refrigerator cars. These are the yellow ones, the Bachmans. The Bachman yellow ones are really the only ones in production right now, and there's only one road number, so I've got like 5 car. I've got like 11 cars that all have the same road number. That's all I can do. This one is a Walthers. Walthers did make I like this car a lot, but it's not being produced anymore. Walthers did a run of them in 2022, and they only have one road number, and that's it. They're not making them. Bachman's the only one right now, and maybe Mountain Trains or Intermountain Trains. One of the other manufacturers I'm not as familiar with is making a Conrail refrigerator car right now. But for the most part, Bachman's the only one making a Conrail refrigerator car in production right now. Athearn did have one in, 2022 or maybe 21, maybe even older than that. It was white and blue. It's a good-looking car, and Conrail did have white and blue refrigerator cars later on. And it was a good-looking scheme. They got away from the yellow and brown, and they went to white and blue. And the car was painted white, and in Conrail it was blue, and the front was blue. It was a good-looking scheme for a refrigerator car, and they had those later on. So if you're doing a railroad that had their own fleet of cars, you do that. If not, there's all kinds of refrigerator cars out there. If you like reefer cars, and I do, because I have a bunch of them, then, that's certainly something that you can do. So that's a little bit of the ice cream plant. Mega Pizza here. That's my homemade sign. You see the pizza man running, and he's got a pizza there. And then we also have the pizza dough manufacturing. And you see him in a stand mixer, and they're making dough. Pizza dough, depending on the recipe, and at a commercial place, it's going to be a little bit different. But generally, it's flour, hot water, yeast, and salt. And what happens is sometimes a wee bit of oil. And basically what happens is the yeast and hot water are mixed together. That activates the yeast. Then that's mixed with the flour and the salt, put in a big, stand mixer, and it's all mixed together, and that makes the dough balls. They're set to rise, and then they're either flash frozen or refrigerated and shipped out to a distribution center where, they're put on trucks, at least in this scenario. And if they're fresh, delivered overnight or during the day or whenever to the pizza store, who then will take those dough balls, put them in what's called a sheeting machine, and that will, make them the size of the pizza. You would have, it depends on the place, but generally speaking, I think your pizza sizes are usually, a small pizza would be considered 10 inches in diameter. Your large or medium pizza, depending on the place, would be 12 inches in diameter. And then like your extra large or large, again, this varies for place and every place is a little different. But when I was working in the industry, that was 16 inches in diameter. So that's how that works. Also, you can add a vegetable processing plant for pizza vegetables. And if you want to do, you have a meat plant too. I opted not to do the meat plant. That would, if you wanted to make, that'd be a whole separate model, a meat plant. In this facility, they manufacture cheese and pizza dough. So with cheese, you need salt, you need cultures, milk, obviously, and there's other ingredients too. The cheese is made, and then they would shred it and grind it, either shred it or make it into pellets, and then it'd be refrigerated and sent out. In real life, Domino's Pizza has commissaries all across the country, and they make, Papa John's does too, and they manufacture the pizza dough there at those commissaries, and they also get all the other ingredients in to send out to their restaurants, obviously, their retail locations. Domino's also has a vegetable processing plant. That's where I got the idea for this vegetable processing plant. Vegetables come in and they're probably washed, chopped up, bagged, and refrigerated. I don't know if they're frozen. I wouldn't think they're frozen, but certainly bagged and refrigerated, and then sent out. Domino's would, obviously nowadays they're probably sending all that stuff out by truck. I highly doubt that any of their freight goes by rail. But that's how Domino's Pizza does it. So, but you could use a rail. You could certainly use rail for that. No problem. That's what I'm doing. And maybe there is somewhere. Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys later. I got to go. Bye.